He's been for the last 22 days of January, and what he's up to this particular month. Okay, welcome back. Katisia, you are saying something that there is no split in Azimia, but yes, Daily Nation has got something for you. Probably you'll also have to answer that. I'll give, for the benefit of fairness, I'll give you 1 minute, and also that you can also respond to the front page of the People Daily and the Standard, probably if you can. People Daily say that principals in dilemma over poor students. That is what you have, because you have got so many students who are going to school with nothing. So to say school fees or even the necessities. That's the front page of the People Daily. Principals in dilemma over poor students. And of the front page of the Standard, Raila out to unite his support base with the Coast Tour. Arnold, good morning. Go ahead.
Morning, sir. First of all, on People Daily, I think it's quite a dilemma for all of us. Yes. We need 100% transition. Most of these kids are actually very brilliant, but then resources are not as much as there could be. So the principals, of course, are struggling between balancing running with business principles, commercial principles, where you actually have to get resources for whatever you run. And of course, schools are not charity institutions. So that balance is a little bit delicate. But then if you look at our history as a country, we've made it through because of the Harambee spirit. We've made it through because once in a while we took a little bit discomfort, and that is how we actually have been able to move on. So I think it's one of those things that eventually we will actually have to take care of it. Every time the schools begin, at the beginning of the year, you have these cases, but eventually they stabilize around. Well-wishers come in. The government eventually actually stabilizes its capitation, as much as we've moved off that slightly to bring in a little bit of equity. So this has been a recurrent challenge. But as a nation, we've actually found ways of actually dealing with it and ensuring that we move on. As of the Standard's headline, I think the proper headline would be that Azimio finally disintegrates, because as long as they have hoped that something else will actually shake and drop off the tree, that was the Mandamano, that was the business of selling fear for the last 1 year, moving from the streets to NADCO and to everything they've actually done. Now I think the realization is that we are fast moving into midterm, and that if they stay on, they will not be prepared. So literally everybody is going their own way. You can see the Wiper side, of course, saying that in 2027 the man will have to be the one who leads Azimio. Yes. But you know, Azimio again was it's an umbrella we use but never really existed, because the only two members who were in Azimio was Raila and Martha Karua. Everybody else belonged to their own party. So Azimio was that particular umbrella that had only two members. The first one, of course, I think left as soon as the elections went out. We no longer hear so much of Martha Karua. Raila has gone out, of course, and as much as it had been promised that he'll only run for one term, or rather he would be here for one term, and ask Kalonzo that support me for this one more time. We've seen his people going back to reorganizing, and as usual, he has got one extra bullet to actually run for 2027. So you can be sure that he will be on the ballot. So I think the proper headline would have been, we call Azimio finally disintegrates, or Azimio calls it a day. So everybody's going their own way.
Katisa is not amused by that statement, because again on the front page of the Daily Nation, this is what the Daily Nation has for you. Katisia, which way Azimio? That is what you have on the front page of the Daily Nation. Yes, which way Azimio? Katisia, can you just respond to this? National Coalition Executive Council, that is NEC, has written to all constituent parties, and it says that Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Alliance has called a crucial meeting this Thursday that is expected to determine the future of the coalition and its membership amid internal wrangles over the Bomas National Dialogue Report and the CAM's presidential flag bearer in the 2027 State House contest. Arnold, I just said that Raila has one bullet remaining. In the last election, he had one. I don't know where he's found maybe one ammo, or that was just but a tactic in the battlefield. But which way, Azimio? Kevin?
Thank you, Victor. Allow me to, first of all, congratulate my brother Arnold for being the UDA communication expert. If that is the right title, I don't know.
Advisor.
Advisor, communication advisor. I was just jokingly telling him to confirm that he is not among the 483 ghost workers in State House. But he has assured me that he is not. But I want to disagree with him completely.
Yes.
That Azimio is not divided. Indeed, it is Kenya Kwanza which is divided. I don't know, Victor, which headline in Standard you're looking at. But the paper I have, the headline is about Gachagua blames Aid and for Mount Kenya troubles.
This is Daily Nation. This Daily Nation.
No, Daily Nation is which way Azimio. Standard, you've read a different headline. But
yes.
I want to say that there is this perception which is put across the minds of Kenyans by using big headlines to confuse the masses. And I think this is an agenda by the government, because it is indeed, as I said, it is Kenya Kwanza, which is having some serious divisions. Because if we see PA MPs, I don't know, PA is in Kenya Kwanza, and they are leaving Kenya Kwanza for Azimio. And you know Kenya Kwanza is the government of the day. Ask yourself, what are the issues in the Kenya Kwanza government? In Azimio, as per the Daily Nation headline, you know, every coalition should have meetings, frequent meetings to discuss on and review their performance and where they are going to. And I think it's a normal meeting. So we should not read so much politics into it. On the issues of the NADCO report, of course, we saw there were some dissenting views by the NAC leader, Honorable Martha Karua, and DAP Kenya Party leader, Eugene Wamalwa. But those were their personal views, and they did not say they were the positions of their respective parties. Remember, the coalition parties, the parties are different from the individuals in the parties. Honorable Martha Karua may have a different opinion, but our own party has not come out to say we disagree with the NADCO report. So I think we have to differentiate that parties are autonomous, and they have their own legal standing. So I think as far as Azimio is concerned, there is no cause for alarm. Azimio is united more than ever before, and every political party in Azimio has the right to push for their leader to be the presidential candidate for Azimio. And we know for sure that 2027, it will be a day for Azimio to take over the leadership of this country.
I want to bring in Wakili Nyaribo here. Azimio calls make or break meeting on fate of coalition. It says that the coalition top brass has been reading from different scripts on Boma's report and the 2027 presidential race. According to the report, it says that according to Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka, they say that it's a good beginning, quote unquote. But Martha Karua, of course, of NAC Kenya, and DAPK's Eugene Wamalwa, they are nowhere to be seen. Nyaribo, he's saying that there is no crack in Azimio, but still, they still have this kind of a meeting. What do you make of this?
You see, I think the media also, you know, they really dictate quite a bit of which direction the national psyche goes and which direction a particular conversation or debate will take. But in terms of whether there are cracks, there might be cracks, this I cannot shy away from saying. There might be differences in opinion among the top brass, but isn't that, Victor, part of what democratic development is all about? This is Azimio. It is not Mambo Matatu Kenya Kwanza, you know, it is my way or no other way. This is, the Azimio is all about, you disagree here, you walk away, you come back, you have this opinion, you live with it, we listen to you, and we know whether, you know, you have the day at the end of the day. So I think the wrong heading could be that there is definitely a crack where people are exercising their democratic right to air their views. So, for example, Martha Karua does not believe does not believe the whole report from the Bomas of Kenya. What is wrong with that? Really, honestly, this is an advocate of the High Court. She is at liberty to have her own views. But now when such a coalition, now when such a meeting is called now for all people to sit down, I think this heading should have come shortly after now, you know, they've called each other and we see how they jostle, you know, between this or that point. But this call for a coalition meeting, Victor, if you ask me, it's a great sign of democratic, you know, right of a coalition. You know, my brother Mariba mentioned that, you know, there was no Azimio after all, it was only Martha Karua and Raila Odinga. Azimio is actually a unified kind of, you know, many parties together. You see that also in Kenya Kwanza, but you know, Kenya Kwanza really is UDA actually, and it's either my way or no other way. So Azimio is having teething challenges. This, we don't have to shy from that.
And the teething challenge comes from the Bomas report.
And if now we can see what, you know, after the dialogue committee and some people proposed this is the way to go and others say, no, we can't go that direction. Well, let us understand this as Kenyans, Victor. There can be differences of opinion, number one. There can be differences of views. It does not necessarily mean a crack. Neither does it mean that now that particular coalition has died. So please give us this title shortly after the coalition has met. Then we can know whether it's really a crack or it is a development of political
Maliba, right for a rebuttal.
Actually, it's oxymoronic because I've heard them. I think it was him who said that there are cracks in Kenya Kwanza because there is a little bit of divergence of opinions. Somehow, when there is divergence of opinions in Azimio, that is democracy. But if there is divergence of opinions in Kenya Kwanza, that is division. You know, we really have to make a choice. As you cannot have your cake and eat it. It's the same thing, but it means different thing just because it's on different sides of the cake. Be that as it is, I would love to say this. You cannot say a formation that is 3 years in counting is facing teething problems, but the other side that is primarily much younger is having problems. So I think it's also not so fair for us to play around with that. But then let me put this on record. Number one, I think there is no bigger party than UDA today in this country. UDA, number one, has got 7.2 million members. I do not think that even in the region, there are parties that are democratic that have got that. 7.2 million members. That is according to ORPP reports. They've got 124 members of parliament. That is a single party. No one has that in this particular country. UDA has got 32 senators. It has got 20 governors. It has got 21 women reps and a whopping 807 MCAs. So literally, when you talk about a party that is unpopular, you look at what the decision people made. So is there a party that has got much more than that? Of course there isn't. Wakili Ishmael here argues that Azimio, you know, Azimio is registered as a coalition party. Fair enough. But the only people who actually ended up there, you know, in this country we've got this affinity for very funny and mundane concepts. So somebody somewhere thought that if we come up with a newer definition of what a political party is, bring in another level of political party, then we can bring in everybody and force them down.
Yes.
You see, the problems of Azimio did not start with the NADCO report. There are people who at KICC signed on things they did not see. That is how we saw the likes of CS Mutua leaving Azimio then. That is how David Ochieng and so many other people who actually are in court as we speak. There are so many other people who at the time of signing of the Azimio agreement and the coalition agreement, they never saw the substance. People went to court looking for that particular document. It never was seen. So the problems didn't start today. You know, when you are given the signature, and Wakili here knows that trick, where you're told, don't read, similar to the software license. It's normally a very long write-up, and because you want that app to run on your phone or your computer, you never go through. So you just go down there and you sign accept. So quite a number of people in Azimio, right then at inception at KICC, we saw that, and we've gone through that with a lot of them saying they do not know what they signed against.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Victor,
So then
I don't know if you are letting that go, but
we have to
it's your
respond
show,
to that.
Victor.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can go, Katisia.
Yes, I want to respond to that and tell my brother Arnold Dia that he should not listen to the lies of the CS for Tourism, Governor Alfred Mutua, because, you know, Victor, we know that very well that a coalition agreement is a public document. And it was submitted to the register of political parties. If Governor Mutua signed the agreement without looking at it, then it's up to him, because I remember I was part of the legal team representing Wiper Party, and we were at KSCC and we read the entire coalition agreement. So maybe the Maendeleo Chap lawyers were not keen enough.
For the sake of Kenyans and Arnold Maliba,
for records,
did you hand over that document to the likes of CS Mutua?
I'm saying that a coalition agreement is a public document. If it does not have, we can rush to
that is not the question Victor asked.
And pick it.
The question Victor asked was, did you give him that particular document? And while at it, I would like you to respond to this. Why did it have to take Mutua? Let's give it, probably, CS Mutua lied. Let's give it to you.
Okay. Yes.
Why then did David Ochieng also raise up the same issue? We have got about 7 parties that raised that complaint. 7 parties. Even if one man, for example, would lie, why would 6 others follow suit? Then why would it have to take them to go to court? Because even ORPP at that particular time was not presenting the document, and it became, even the media was looking for it. I just want to give you an advantage of checking out that the media was pursuing the real document and they couldn't find it. It is on record, it is reported. So it cannot be that 7 people who are party leaders looked for it, principals no less, and couldn't find it.
Okay, Kevin,
and that people had to go to court.
It's your time, Kevin.
Victor, I am not an Azimio spokesman. Yeah, and neither is my brother here, Kenya Kwanza spokesman. I know he's the UDA communication advisor, and I know maybe with those affiliate parties who have rushed to Kenya Kwanza are coming up with all manner of allegations against Azimio. But the question is very simple, that a coalition agreement is a public document. And if you append your signature on an agreement, then it means that you are so ignorant that you are signing what you don't know. So why are they then blaming Azimio? If they went to Kenya Kwanza, let them go there in peace and stop blaming Azimio. I know all these manner of allegations are the ones which are used by the individuals who rush to Kenya Kwanza, and we understand them. But I can tell you for sure that it is Kenya Kwanza which is divided than ever before. Because ask yourself, Arnold, you're a UDA communication advisor. Why did you have to postpone the grassroots party elections if there were no divisions?
At least we did not.
Which is divided.
UDA did not postpone its elections because the coalition agreement of Azimio was not available to other people. How that actually relates to the question you are asked, I don't know. But we cannot allow conflation where one question asked and then you run around and don't give an answer. This idea of sloganeering, we must actually stop. The politics of dishonesty.
I want Wakili Jaribu to respond to this, and you have a minute to talk about that. But Arnold, I also have a question for you. What if it was just a political gimmick or strategy for the politician to say that we are not given that document, we've not seen it, so we're not party to it?
But why would they go to court? So unless you are saying that even the courts,
you will respond to that.
Unless you are saying the courts also joined into the political gimmick, and our courts are respected.
You will respond to that. Wakili, go ahead.
You see, I see that there is always a strategy to dismantle, a certain philosophy or party within a small moment of a show like this one, and no one can succeed. The issue here is governance structures of our democratic institutions.
Yes.
If you say there will be a coalition meeting, and this coalition meeting is called Azimio, for example, in the couple of days to come, and that meeting happens, and later on you are so smart and you know things happening behind the scenes, you come and say, actually there was no meeting. What message are you sending to the youngsters, to the people, the viewers, who believe in governance, structures and institutions? So if Azimio came together and they signed a document, if Kenya Kwanza set up their governance structures and they signed certain documents, and then there are these type of people who actually have behind the scenes information, and they say, no, that was all hogwash, there was no meeting, in fact people have now gone to court. This is the same song, Victor. You see people saying there is a court of law, but they don't believe in that court of law. They say it's a completely helpless, horrible institution. There is nothing happening there. So we must also turn around our country and accept what is governance structures. There is Azimio, there is no doubt. There is a coalition agreement signed. There is absolutely no doubt. There are these schemers and political smart guys behind the scenes who come and say, no. The handshake from the president was so bad, so strong. Maybe it was a bewitching handshake. So, I mean, you shook the hand and that was a greeting. What you make of it and the interpretation you give a situation or a meeting really should be personal and should be treated as an individual's opinion. So I am still saying that once the coalition meets in a couple of days, I really would like to see how does Kalonzo Musyoka speak, how will Martha Karua speak, how will Raila Odinga speak, how will all these people.
Yeah.
Then we can have a sensible and more meaningful, headline saying these people have separated or not. Otherwise, we could be supporting the naysayers in terms of what is governance? I mean, what is governance in the country? We disregard all institutions and say that the only correct thing is that which I am thinking in my mind that is wrong to the country. That's very wrong to the country.
All right, Arnold.
I just needed to say this, that first of all, it's not true that the courts will also join into that charade. If it truly it was a political game, then people will not have to go to court and court be forced to actually do an order that then the ORPP then was not getting along with. So be that as it may,
yes.
The truth is that the meeting that they'll actually have on Thursday is not a way forward meeting. It's actually a divorce meeting. They want to share the little they have.
A divorce meeting?
Yes, a divorce settlement meeting.
Okay.
Whatever they have there's literally nothing they're actually going to have as a conversation there. So do not expect much out of it. Azimio died long time ago. It only had 2 members. Martha Karua left immediately. Now we have seen Raila going around as a member of ODM, which means that he has already left Azimio and he's now a member of ODM. As far as it is, probably it's divorced guys meeting together and trying to a trauma healing session, which is fine. We can allow them and see what works out.
Katisia, are you part of that divorce meeting?
No, Victor, I have to respect my brother Arnold because he has to earn a living by condemning Azimio and praising Kenya Kwanza. I have to allow him to earn his living. But I think we must speak the truth. Political parties have to meet frequently. We have seen the president convening meetings of the Kenya Kwanza in the State House using state taxpayers' money, and we respect that.
Okay.
Azimio, we are meeting to discuss on where we are going, and I think maybe they are scared why Azimio is meeting. That's why they are trying to create this narrative that is a divorce meeting. But I can tell you,
just before you come in, I just need to say this. It's fair, by the way, since this is a political show, we have got the liberty to allow a little bit of jibes here and there. And it's fair, I have no problem, because if a living can only be earned by telling people the truth, then that's not a problem. But then let us say this. He says that political parties have to meet frequently. In the Bible, Matthew 18:20, the Bible says that where 3 or 4 are gathered in my name. That was Jesus saying.
Yes. I hope you are citing the correct verse.
Yes. Matthew 18:20.
So my Bible here.
Yes, 18:20 says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'll be amongst them. But you see, when he says this, it's good for political parties to meet. In whose name are they meeting? What is the objectivity? What is the objective? What is the philosophy? People that are divorced, they are fighting all over. When they are meeting, what do you expect? It's either a trauma healing session, it's a fighting session. Whatever it is, there is nothing good in it. So when Azimio meet and you're saying that it's good for political parties to meet, what are they meeting for?
Arnold, now that you're still, what do you make of this headline? Here, then, Gachagua, Nyoro splits Ruto party.
That is a small regional problem, not even a regional problem. It's a little bit of jostling, and that is the democracy of Mount Kenya, a place that is quite robust, and I think in this country, very politically savvy region. So that particular conversation that is in there, that is a housekeeping.
They say where there's smoke, there is fire. This headline has been here for the last a couple of...
Because number one, it pertains to the person of the deputy president, and being the second most popular leader in this particular country, you expect that headline not to go so far away. And him having had a conversation with his people, doing housekeeping, that is normal. People are having, that is dialogue. And who told you dialogue will be easy? So when the deputy goes to his backyard and has dialogue, we look at that as disunity. When people who are fighting and they've gone their different way are fighting, we say that is democracy. We have to choose which narrative we want to run with as the media, as political pundits, and we as individuals. So I don't think there's anything big there. If it was said by any other smaller person.
There's that rumor. That's why there is this camp here. I asked you this question intentionally, from Azimio to this one, so that I could hear your side of the story, Arnold. Yeah. Because the story says that camps emerge in Kenya Kwanza, with one claiming that Kiharu, member of parliament, should be given more credit for president victories, but DP wants against early poll campaigns. credit and early poll campaigns. Let me start with you, Wakili Nyaribo.
You know, my brother is saying the Honorable Deputy President is the most populous.
Second most popular.
Second most popular. I mean, Honorable Gachagua is a Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya legally. Yes. That's it. If you talk about who is popular, yeah, democratically elected. I agree on this. Yeah. But now you use the word popular, even though, I mean, we don't have to go to the dictionary. He is Deputy President, that's it. And we respect that as the law provides. But, you know, my brother also was saying, and I'm not dwelling on what he's saying really, because I don't believe much of it. But he says that Gachagua and Nyoro is a central small in-house problem. It can never be. Anything touching on the Deputy President is a national issue. It's a national issue in the sense that the large populous, you know, region called Central Kenya is not comfortable with how he has led them and how he promised that he would lead them. So you can see now also the head of state himself, from how he has moved around that issue, he does not seem to believe what the Deputy President told him prior to elections, the issues they had, which led to the nomination of the Deputy President. So that is the real crack, Victor, if you ask me. This is where the problem is. This is a leading party. This is a party in power. It has amassed a lot of power and wealth. Let me tell you, we listen to a lot of things beyond this show and behind the scenes also. And we know that the number of people who are benefiting within UDA might not exceed 15 people, I'm telling you. I mean, the number of people who are enjoying the tappings of power and making money, making deals within UDA, you might be surprised they are not beyond 10, 15 people. And there is murmurs and dissatisfaction within UDA itself and within the Kenya Kwanza. And this will be coming to the full light in the soon future.
All right. Katisia, as you take a break.
You don't have to answer me, Arnold.
I will not answer you. I will respond to your issues.
Burning.
I want to take a break. The question is, Gachagua and Nyoro supremacy battle shakes Mount Kenya. That's what's here. A party is split down the middle over who to take the position of DP in the 2032 general election. So we have got Deputy President there and Ndini Nyoro. So there's still, who is the kingpin of Mount Kenya, Arnold?
Well, clearly it's Uhuru Kenyatta. I mean, are you asking?
Number one,
I ask Arnold.
Allow me to build on where he left. And to answer your question, number one,
yes.
He told me that saying that the Deputy President is not the most popular leader in this country is not correct. So he was alluding to evidence, and of course I used the elections as a mark, as the data. So when Wakili Ishmael, a person so respected, a learned friend, uses social media gossip as items that he can actually come here on the show talking about 15 people, we might be surprised.
Let's take a break.
I come from Kenya Kwanza.
Let's take a break. Azimio Kenya Kwanza?
I come from Kenya Kwanza.
Thank you. Let's take a break.
He comes from Azimio. He has confessed.
I come from Kenya Kwanza. I wanted to say that I have been there and I know there are no camps.
Let's take a break.
He come to Kenya Kwanza from Azimio.
They'll not stop. Director, let's go for a break. Let's go for a break. We'll be right back.